It is 30 degrees Celsius outside. And yes, we have installed an air conditioning unit in our bedroom, but alas, this is not our bedroom and it does not come in here. So enjoy me sweating for another 30 minutes. Sweating in Wisdom should be my new title of my podcast. Sweating on your healing journey. Healing journey makes you sweat. Welcome back. Oh my goodness. Okay, so today's theme of this podcast is inspired by 2 podcasts ago. I made one about healing negative body image thoughts. And I mentioned briefly that I would, in the future, if you guys requested, make a episode about my gender journey. And I feel like I haven't really talked in depth about this yet. I've made YouTube videos on it and stuff and TikToks and Instagram reels, but I haven't gone in depth about how I experience my own gender. So for context, I am gender fluid, identify as gender fluid, non-binary, kind of just a goblin floating in space. When I think about what my soul looks like, it is obviously non-gendered. I am a little gremlin living in a cave, really wrinkly, but almost glowing in golden light. And I have libraries upon libraries of books, and I'm constantly researching things in my cave. And I come out only once in a while to do motivational speeches. So just picture me as a golden Dobby looking creature, obviously no gender. And that is how I experience my gender. That is how I feel like my soul looks. If I could visualize my soul, that's how it would look. And I'm aware that I am a 25-year-old white woman to society. But I don't identify as a woman, but I do identify with the female experience. So I'm going to talk about that and how you can have both. And like I said, everyone experiences gender differently. I'm not going to speak for all gender fluid people. I'm just going to be speaking from my own experience. And I know it just helps to, I know a lot of you are doing your soul searching and discovering your gender identity and really feeling into it and feeling really confident in it and learning how to love yourself within your genderqueer identity. So I feel like it's just helpful. And I also don't see a lot of people talking about gender fluidity in depth, yes, TikToks and stuff. But anyways, I'm just going to share my experience of how I perceive my own gender fluidity, how I got to that knowing, and how it's changed from when I first discovered my gender fluidity until now. So it is 2024. I'm pretty sure I realized I was gender fluid in 2022, I'm thinking. Maybe it was late 2021 into 2022. And I was going through a lot, the pandemic, mental health wise. This timeline also aligned with when I was starting to realize that I had body image issues and body dysmorphia. So if you don't know what body dysmorphia is, it's basically looking in the mirror and not being able to see your body as it actually is clearly. You just have a warped perception of what you look like. So that is what I have been struggling with my whole life. And if you want me to talk more about my body image journey, I will link that podcast episode below. But I wasn't sure if I was experiencing body dysmorphia or gender dysphoria. Now, you can be gender fluid and not have dysphoria. You can be gender fluid and have gender dysphoria. So basically dysphoria is just it's the opposite of euphoria. So an extreme unease about your gender and your body in relationship with your gender. And this was also what I was going through. I felt so detached from my body that I wasn't sure if I was experiencing body dysmorphia or gender dysphoria. And the short answer is I think a little bit of both. I think I was experiencing a little bit of both, but I don't have gender dysphoria anymore. So I guess I'm going to touch on how I rewired my brain to not have that. And I know for some people they might not be able to, but I just wanted to share how I got to the place that I am. I'm really comfy in my gender identity. I honestly don't even think about it anymore. I don't even really strongly think that it's a huge part of who I am. I'm just a soul, and I would like to be not treated as a woman, but just treated as a person. And I don't know if you'd relate to that, but that is one of the, main hallmarks of me discovering I was gender fluid, is because I didn't want to be treated as a woman. I didn't feel like a woman. And maybe this was pressure from society. This was pressure from my own childhood. This was trauma. I'm not sure what got me to that realization, but all I knew was that I did not want to be treated as a woman anymore. I didn't feel like I resonated with it. I didn't feel like I aligned with it. I didn't align with being a man either. I kind of just wanted to be a fucking soul, which is what we all are, right? Now, I don't mind when people call me wife, girlfriend, she, her, because in my head, I've come to a place of, I know that people are going to say it anyways. So I'm just going to not take it personally. I'm going to know that, the way someone identifies me is not how I identify myself. I am allowed to identify myself with whatever I choose, and I'm not going to let anyone else make me feel bad about my own identity because of what they're calling me. And I realize that this is a really sensitive topic for a lot of people. And obviously, respecting people's pronouns is extremely important. And of course, I want people to respect my pronouns. Oh my God, my eye is just so itchy right now. Sorry. Of course, I want people to respect my pronouns. I would love them to use she and they both in a sentence together. That is mwah. That is my ideal situation. My partner actually did it the other day, and I was like, yes, I'm a she. Sorry, I literally didn't say my pronouns at the beginning of this. I'm they, she. So preferably they, she is okay too. Just not he. But honestly, I've gotten to the place where even if someone did call me he, I would just be like, okay, because I know that how other people perceive me is it's not my problem. It's not my business, and it doesn't have to be. And I'm choosing for it not to be, because that was stressing me out so much, is being on set, because I'm an actor. So, I'll be on set, and people would constantly, only call me she, and girl, woman. And I would just be so uncomfortable and feel like the world is fucking against me. And, I did speak up to production and say, hey, can you please put my fucking pronouns on the call sheet? It's not that hard. Next to my name, put they, she. Oh my God, literally not that hard. If you work on film sets, please be mindful of marking people's pronouns so people are aware of it. I learned that being on the set. But anyways, after that experience, I started to let go of caring about how others perceive me. And I know that this may be a hard kind of conclusion to get to. This might be a hard mindset to get to, and it might take some time, and it definitely took some time for me. But I think what was really stressing me out is feeling like people didn't give a fuck about me, or giving a fuck about, my queer identity, my non-binary identity. But I grew in self-love so much that I stopped caring about that. So now if you ask me what's your gender identity? I say gender fluid because to me it sounds good, because I don't have to worry about I'm not trying to decide every morning when I wake up. I'm not okay, am I feeling like a boy today? Am I feeling like a girl today? It's not really like that. And maybe I kind of experienced it like that when I was first coming out, but now I don't really experience it like that. I kind of I know who I am. I was born fluid, and I feel fluid in my gender, because at the end of the day, it is a social construct. I think society has not made it easy for us to feel good about our gender in general, even if we're cisgender. Like, I feel like the society just hasn't been, it's been so like black or white. It's been so dogmatic about like gender roles. Like, you have to either fit into this man box or this woman box. And with me, I'm like, I don't fucking fit in any fucking box. Don't try to put me in it. And I'm not identifying with those boxes. Okay. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but I'm a woman and I don't conform to gender ideals. That's okay. Like, that's your experience. Just because I don't subscribe to gender ideals and I'm gender fluid, you cannot subscribe to gender ideals and be cisgender. That is just how I feel truly in my heart. And sometimes people ask me, like, how do you know if you're gender fluid? It's just, or non-binary or, gender queer or whatever. It's a knowing. I think no one can tell you how you feel. So it really was a journey. My gender journey was a journey of self-love in realizing I choose to be myself and I choose to be the most authentic version of myself. And this is the most authentic version of myself. Being gender fluid, all these labels, I'm still me. And with labels are another thing that I've just been pondering about for the past couple of years, and how I truly think that labels matter more to other people. For me, okay, speaking from experience, I think that labels are more for other people to define you. And, giving someone a label or proclaiming I attach to this label is really helpful for some people. And even though I do say that I'm gender fluid, I really don't care about the labels. I don't care about what labels people want to put on me, because I know that I know who I am. And I don't let other people define me. Does that make sense? I know this is like kind of a tricky conversation to have, but this is safe space and this is how I feel. And my healing journey could look a lot different than your healing journey and your self-discovery journey. If people are like, what do you identify as? I will be like, I am queer, gender fluid, pronouns are they, she. I'm an actor, I'm a podcaster, I'm a content creator. We're all of these, all of these labels. I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I am or sibling. I like both, by the way. Sister, sibling, I like them both. I am a daughter. I am a neighbor. I'm a friend. Gender fluid is just another one of those labels to me. But at the end of the day, I am labelless because I come from the dimension of there being no labels and there being no words to describe anyone but love and just a feeling. So I choose to identify with love. I choose to identify with the feeling of love. And that is my most important label. If you ask me now. If you asked me 2-3 years ago, I would be like, I'm queer, gender fluid. Like, I'd be very particular on telling people my labels. But if it were now, I have gotten to the point where I don't give a fuck anymore. There's just more important things on my mind than labels and making sure that people identify me correctly. And a lot of people are going to say that they disagree with me on this, and that's okay. We can both be gender fluid. We can both be non-binary and have differing experiences of what it's like to be gender fluid, non-binary, etc. I think a lot of people can invalidate themselves and say, oh, like, I feel like I'm this, but what if I'm not actually this? And then what if I'm like just confused? Or what if I'm this and that? That is all okay. Like, everything you're feeling is okay. Labels are supposed to feel good to you. If they don't use them. If you find comfort in a label, go fucking nuts. Go ham. If you feel like labels are restrictive, if you feel like labels are actually limiting you, then don't use it. Because at the end of the day, how we view ourselves is the most important thing. So if someone were to ask me, Kira, how do I know I'm know if I'm gender fluid? I would say if you're questioning it, you probably are. And I've said that with, being queer as well. Like, how do I know I'm a lesbian? How do I know I'm bisexual? If you're even asking that question, you probably are, because you've been so inquisitive to even get to this point of questioning it. And if you have a deep knowing that you are, then you are. And no one can tell you what you are, okay? Even if people misgender you, even if people mislabel you, even if people call you the wrong pronoun, that does not mean anything about who you are, okay? People's labels and perceptions don't mean shit about who you are. Mic drop. This is a really passionate conversation and I'm sweating buckets. I'm gonna close this episode by giving you this offering. I choose to feel good. I choose to feel good in this moment, despite who is saying what about me. I choose to feel good about myself, no matter what other people are saying about me. I have the choice in every moment to feel good. I choose to love myself today. I know who I am, and who I am is magic. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is love. And no matter what you identify with, the most important thing is if it feels authentic to you. If you feel your most authentic identifying with a label, go for it. If you feel most authentic not identifying with a label, then don't. Whatever pronouns make you feel the most authentic, use them. And even if people misgender and mislabel me, I know who I am, and their judgments upon me do not define me. There's a Wayne Dyer quote that I love, and it's, if you judge another person, you don't define them. You define yourself as a person who feels the need to judge. Oof, that quote hits. It hits. Anyways, this might not have made any sense to you. This could have been the most confusing 20 minutes of your goddamn life. You might be so confused about my experience of gender, but you know what? That doesn't matter to me. And I know that sharing my story always helps others. What matters most is that I understand me. Yee. And that you understand you. Yay! I think I've said all I need to say today on gender. I hope this helped you. Let me know if it did. Let me know how your gender journey differentiates from mine. Let me know what you're going through in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. I would love to hear different perspectives, and I'm open to it. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.